Hello, my friends, and welcome to a brand new episode of Discourse in Magic. My name is Jonah Babbins, and today we are talking about Summit, and we're talking about AI. So if you don't know, every year I take the Mastermind on a trip somewhere epic and tropical, and this year we went to Mexico, again at a beautiful resort, and we had an incredible time. And there was so many different things that we talked about and worked on, things like contracts and public shows and SEO and cold email and many things. But one of the big underlying topics of the trip was AI. And, it was a small topic at last year's summit, and it was a huge topic at this year's summit, because I think that if you're a magician or anyone really who is running their own business in 2026, then it would be irresponsible of you to not see what is going on in the world of AI and thinking about how you use it in your business. Now, I want to say a couple things first. Number one, in this episode, what I'm going to do with you is explain the high-level thinking about how to use AI as a magician. This was part of a series of talks that happened at Summit. And this is really about the high-level stuff of what you should be thinking about. Number two, if you are someone who is sick of hearing me talk about AI or sick of just hearing AI in your world and in your universe, then listen, you do not obviously have to listen to this, but also you do not have to use AI or even think about it. But I want to be honest with everybody here, which is that this feels like a unique moment in time, a moment where you have a chance to get ahead, but also this is one of those moments in time where if you do not learn what's going on, you may at some point be left in the dust. And I'm going to explain what that means, but this is just my warning to you, which is I ain't trying to shove AI down anyone's throat. I'm not trying to it's not like I have a bunch of investments and I'm helping everybody, cook my own book or whatever the saying is. But instead, I'm trying to send a warning because I'm very fortunate that I get to work with a group of incredible magicians and I get to see what is actually going on in the world right now and in the world of the magic business, and to be able to share it all with you. And this is what I see that is going on right now. So let's talk about AI in the magic business. 5 things that I want to chat about. Thing number 1. The floor is rising. What do I mean by that? Well, I think that there was a time, once upon a time, that being okay at certain aspects of the magic business was okay. If your website wasn't incredible, that was fine. If the way you send emails and things wasn't incredible, that's fine. If your images and videos wasn't incredible, you could get away with sort of a Franken system where some things are good and some things aren't. But very soon, you're going to feel the floor rising, which is because using AI, you can do pretty good website copy and pretty good website design and send pretty good emails and so on across every category of the magic business. As time goes on, you're going to see less people that have okay things. Like we all know of a magician who is crushing it and you go to their website and you're like, this? But at some point, that stuff is going to feel very, very, very ancient. And those people are going to feel the gap between what an average person can do. And you're going to feel it. Somebody in your city, a magician that you know, is going to launch their magic business and they're going to have a better website with better copy and better info and better whatever than you do. And they're going to show up on AI searches and all these places faster than you do because they can do it very quickly. So the first thing to share is a bit of a warning, which is that the floor is rising of what is acceptable to put out and to publish. And this is not happening instantly, but it is happening slowly, and you will feel it if you haven't already. Number 2, this is the real scary bit about AI, and that is that absolutely everything that you do, specifically pertaining to getting leads, absolutely everything that you do is in flux. Let's talk about all the ways that people get leads right now. SEO. SEO is in flux. Google may not work the same way. It may work as agents, already people are searching on things like ChatGPT. Google ads, same thing. We know that Google has said that they're going to be taking a hit to their ads to try out other ways to help people search and find what they're looking for. So Google ads is going to take a hit. Cold email is going to take a hit because more and more people can send emails. I'm sure you've noticed you're getting more spam than before. So cold email is going to take a huge hit. Every single way that you can think of to generate leads, like every way that you've ever generated leads in your life, in your magic business, has the opportunity to be different now than it was before. So social media is going to be different. Gig sites. Well, gig sites, who knows? They could vanish because of the way that search happens, or they could explode, because maybe AI sees them as ultimate resources. Every single thing, and obviously things like AI search, every single thing is in flux. There's a couple that aren't really being touched so much right now, like past clients and referrals. That's hard. That's relationship stuff. But the other ones are all in flux. They could all get better. They could all get worse. Google ads could end up being the most important thing because you're running ads against searches for agents, whatever. Or it could end up vanishing and many of your top lead sources would disappear overnight. So that's the second scary bit here, is that absolutely everything that you do right now to get gigs is in flux and potentially on the chopping block. Now let's talk about the good things. Number one, this is called the stuff you hate. There was this joke going around in the early days of AI, which is like, hey, we thought AI, robots would replace the boring stuff that we do. But instead, they're stealing jobs of artists and creators. We thought they'd be stealing the boring jobs and leave us to do more creating. And yes, there's obviously some truth to that joke. But the way that I've found it, more of the tasks that I hate are the ones that are easily replaced by AI than the ones that I love. I'm going to give you some examples that came from the room at Summit. Things like inbox zero, things like contracts, things like web scraping, like gathering data, things like follow-ups, things like, scheming about email outreach, things like getting your tech writer and contract totally right. Things like managing your calendar and, chasing payments. And all of these things can be done by AI. And then all of the things that you like, which is the magic, the performing, chatting with clients and building relationships with them, chatting with your team and building relationships with them. The things that you like to do, those you still get to do. So one lens to think about what's going on in AI right now is the stuff that you hate, the stuff that you dread doing and don't want to do and still have to do, and maybe you procrastinate it and whatever. That stuff is the first things on the chopping block in AI, not just because of choice, but because by definition, those are usually repetitive tasks that are kind of ugly and kind of annoying to do. So the first exciting thing to tell you about AI is that the first pieces on the chopping block are the things that you hate. Next thing to tell you is about how AI works right now. And the answer is that AI works, that business moves at the speed of creativity. It was never the case before. Once upon a time, 6 months ago, a year ago, whatever, the way the business worked is basically whoever could put in more hours and do more work won. Whether you did that by blocking off time in your calendar or hiring a team to do that because you had the dollars or whatever to make that possible. But whoever's team did the most work won. And we can see it on every way of generating leads. Like for SEO, for example, if you put out the most blog posts, you won. For cold email, if you sent the most emails, you won. For ads, if you made the most creative or, tested the most ads or had, the best people on your team doing those things, then you won. Social media, if you put out the most content, then you won. And so on and so on and so on. Right now, the way to think about how it works is whoever is the most creative wins. I'm going to give you an example. One person might choose to use AI and say, hey, look, great news. What I can do is take my sales call and record it and transcribe it, get some bullet points, And then I can write the pitch email from those bullet points. Yay, great job, good thinking, that's cool. That's gonna automate, fix, and enhance like 5% of your sales process. Someone else might say, I'm gonna use that same call recording, but also I'm gonna have the AI go into my CRM, find who the client is, draft email 1, email 2, email 3, go into the index of testimonials that I have, pull the most relevant ones to put inside of there, schedule those into my CRM, automate it to go out, and also pre-schedule the call that the person agreed to on the sales call and put that in their calendar, and generate a slide deck that's exactly about them, and so on and so on. So like, these two people are using the exact same tool, but one of them is using it to do much more and take more of the process and make things more customized than the other does. And this will happen across every single field. You want to do SEO? Great. One person's SEO strategy might be using AI to help them write articles. Cool. But another person's SEO strategy might be about using AI to go and find their competitors and scrape those and then write the better articles and schedule them and generate the images and do backlinking and indexing, like all of these different aspects that, again, two people have the exact same tool and one is using it more creatively than the other. It's like thinking about two magicians with a deck of cards. We both have the same tool, but me and Aussie Wind cannot get the same output out of a deck of cards. His output is way better. That's why I do his tricks. So that's what I mean that business right now moves at the speed of creativity. It used to move at the speed of effort, and now it moves at the speed of creativity. Here's the last piece. This is what I told members of the Mastermind, and this is my ask of everybody here. And by the way, this is for you, not for me, but here's the deal. This is the admission of mine and then the ask. And this is exactly what I told the room full of people that we're working with. The admission looks like this. Every single day of my life, I am spending 3 to 5 hours interacting with AI. On my end, it's usually using Claude because it's incredible, but I've interacted with many, many, many AIs and I plan on it. This is how I spend my time. My lead coach, Kelvin, in the Mastermind, him and I basically chat 1 or 2 times a week for a couple hours, again, going over the cool stuff that we're doing with AI. And the ask that I gave to all of the Mastermind members in the room is this. I said, look, stuff is changing incredibly quickly right now in the magic business. And the fact that we have this community with each other is the reason why we win so much. But sometimes that's like sharing information and motivation and accountability. And right now, it's about innovation. And my plea to everyone in the room is you do not have to spend the 3 to 5 hours that I'm spending. I am learning so that I can share that information with the room. But I recommend that you spend at least an hour a day. And if it's not an hour a day, no problem, an hour a week, but whatever. You need to play with these tools. You need to see what's going on and you need to see what's up. And I told this to the Mastermind, and I'm going to say this here, which is the Discourse and Magic Mastermind has officially become an AI company. And I don't mean that in the weird way that CEOs and executives say it, where they fire half their staff and whatever. I don't mean that. What I mean is that AI is now going to touch absolutely every single part of our magic business. There is no section that it doesn't touch. It touches ads, SEO, cold email, contracts, sales calls, sales process, CRM, writer, like every single thing you can think of, AI is going to touch. So I warned everyone, I said, look, a good chunk of the stuff that we're going to be learning is the same things that we know works that we've been doing for years, but we have to look at it through the lens of AI. It would be irresponsible not to. So that's my advice to all of you, which is if you're thinking about AI, someone replied to one of my emails and said, this stuff is great. I'm going to wait till it's a little bit easier. Don't wait, man. This is the moment to get ahead. This is that window that you can get ahead of the people that are all waiting and hoping that they can make this easier. So here's the wisdom that I want to share with everybody. This is the moment in time to begin taking this stuff seriously. This is the moment in time to begin learning. The Mastermind has become a crazy place since Summit because everybody is innovating what they want to be innovating with AI and sharing it with each other. And it has become absolutely crazy and a core topic and a core focus of all of the things that we talk about and work. So my plea of you is you should spend some time learning. Do not wait. Do not hold your breath. Just spend some time actually learning what this looks like.